For fans of the PlayStation Vita original, the 4-year wait for a sequel to Gravity Rush has been long. Far too long, in fact. Of course, a big part of that has been down to the decision to jump ship from Sony's handheld and onto the PlayStation 4. Gravity Rush 2 continues Kat's story. She's an amnesiac girl with the ability to manipulate gravity in a world that's full of bustling floating island cities. Gravity Rush, the animation overture, helps to join the first game to its sequel as Kat and Sid find themselves trapped in a new city of, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Jirga Para Lahau. I probably got it wrong, so I'm sorry. It's a much more colourful place, which is odd when you consider that the original featured such strongly clashing and vibrantly colourful skyboxes. There's also an almost entirely new cast of characters, there's new social clashes, and plenty more to explore. What you're seeing in the background might look a little bit familiar if you've played the Gravity Rush 2 demo or paid attention to preview trailers and so on, but the demo cut this mission up into lots of little chunks, and we're going to be exploring some new areas as well, though nothing too spoiler heavy as this is still right near the start of the game. It takes a little while for the story to get up to speed actually, and it's a slower, perhaps more considered opening than the original game had, perhaps to ease players into the control system, though I personally found this to be a little bit long-winded compared to the original game. But it's not long before you're exploring this new world to your heart's content. It almost feels like there's no limits to how far you can fly through the sky, and there's no real need for the rail link system in this new city thanks to the PlayStation 4's added oomph. You might be forgiven for thinking that the unresolved story points from the first game are going ignored through much of Gravity Rush 2, but the final arc does come back around and dive deep into the story's unusual and quirky lore, resolving many of the mysteries along the way. Of course, the game's gravity-defying protagonist leads to equally gravity-defying combat. There's the same ability to fly up in any direction and then zoom in for a flying kick at your enemy's highlighted weak spots, or you can pick up and throw debris from the more destructible environments in this game, and the Nevi do return, but you'll also be fighting against humans at times. There's always this generous auto-aim targeting, as well as the familiar mix of analog stick and motion controls on the DualShock 4. Alongside the original game's bevy of attacks, you now have two new combat styles. You've got Lunar style, which makes you much lighter and faster, while Jupiter style makes you much heavier and more powerful. You can change between the three styles on the fly, and the game never gives you colour-coded enemies that can only be damaged in a certain form or anything like that. It's up to you to take advantage of these abilities how you see fit. You really are pushed to make use of these abilities though, as Kat's on the ground kicking is still pretty weak and takes much longer to dispatch an enemy. Both main and side missions offer up a lot of variety in this game, much more so than the original. The first couple of hours are a slow burn, easing you in with simple go here, talk to this person missions and fairly basic combat, but even within that there's some important world and character building moments that you can enjoy, and the game soon starts to stretch its wings with more ambitious design. We particularly enjoyed the goofy and quirky side missions, like one that combined clever stealth gameplay with ice cream advertising, quite inexplicably. Technically, this game is greatly improved by being on PlayStation 4, although it's only running at 30 frames per second compared to the Gravity Rush remaster, which was at 60 frames per second. But you can still see some of the roots as a PlayStation Vita game. That's part of its charm, of course, as you still have the cutscenes delivered in their comic book style, accompanied by occasional moments of gibberish language, or you have talking heads with speech bubbles, and it's a very natural evolution in that regard. Just don't come into Gravity Rush 2 expecting something that is a great departure from the original game. And of course, that's what Gravity Rush fans really want. This is a great sequel to that game. It's bigger, it's better, and it's pretty gorgeous. Thanks for checking out our video, and you can head over to thesixthaxis.com for something a little bit more in-depth from Miguel's written review. If you absolutely hated this video, click the thumbs down and leave us a snarky comment, but alternatively you can give us a like and even a subscribe on YouTube. I will leave the video rolling with a few more minutes of gameplay, and we hope to see you next time. Goodbye!